Hi, everybody. That's Gina here from Soul Inspired Reflections, coming to you today because I feel very inspired to talk about a little bit about AI, our current energies that I've been noticing, as well as the fast-paced world we live in its relationship to the light body. So one of my main purposes, what I feel called to do, is support people as a body worker and someone who studies and practices the healing arts for myself as well as others, and to support my own awakening, my own ascension process, to be grounded in a state of grounded being within my body, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. So that is one of my overarching primary goals, to support you become more grounded and build the foundations and skill sets that you need through the energetics of your body. And some of you may hear me talk about the 12-dimensional shield, really that pillar of light, which comes from like H.P. Blavatsky, the I Am Teachings, Elizabeth Clare Prophet. So if you know some of the history that has gotten us here to this moment, some of you may be drawn to working with that level of mysticism. But really, I feel it's a modern day mystic, a modern day Buddha, a modern awakening that looks like you, it looks like me. It doesn't have a particular way that it looks outwardly. However, inwardly, I find many of us are going through the same or similar experiences or parallel experiences. As your soul is evolving, your presence is awakening, consciousness is waking up within you on a cellular level, your DNA is being activated. The more and more life is being, I would say, gifted and receiving higher energies from source. And so whatever terminology that you use, that you feel comfortable use, just do that. Excuse me. And this here is an invitation for you just to open your heart, really ground and anchor into your center, into your pillar of light, and just be open to listening, receiving, and discerning what is right for you in this present moment. So what's inspiring me is the level at which we are accelerating in this planet, in technology, as we come into this year of the fire horse and potential qualities for that, but also a balancing of the elements within you, the air, the fire, the water, the earth, the ethers. And let's just go ahead and take a breath here. And then how might you stay in your core center, in your pillar, while this energy of chaos, potentially how people describe it, creativity and the divine feminine energy can feel very chaotic. And I'm being reminded of the shamanic studies and teachings that I've been a part of through the Power Path and other mentors, describing the creative energy, the divine feminine energy, as potentially chaotic, a chaos, right? Because from the chaos, from the fire, comes new growth, new power, new perspective, a new way of being, a state of being. While your outer shell may look and feel, may look the same, the way you internally are is completely different. And I know this also through my own experience in awakening and walking, I would say, the path of the heart, the path of a mystic, but really the path of a soul and presence in a human physicality. And what is that? And how do I show up in that state of being that honors the sacredness of life, honors the sacredness of you and myself through the power of observation and deep awareness and foundational skills in bringing your higher energies, your multidimensionality in and through the body. Excuse me, I'm getting over some congestion. And that is a skill to practice until you just are, as a mentor once said to me, to be grounded is a state of being. It's a state of being that is cultivated. Some of us naturally come in this world a little more grounded, a little more centered, can navigate the world in its chaos and tumultuous nature and rate of speed with more ease and grace than others. And I feel the way I grew up also helps support that. If I'm looking at how my world has supported me to this moment, I grew up in a home of unpredictability, of temperament, of moods, and what was my siblings going to be doing that day, right? So this deep awareness of myself, of others, and how to navigate a full household of personalities, of wants and needs, and my own, right? So that being said, that is just some layers that get overlaid into the energetics of the body. So as we're coming into awakening and consciousness, and your soul's like, oh, come to your divine essence now. Let's come into balance. Let's let go of, or re-alchemize or harmonize the cellular body, the memory that is interfering, I'll say, or creates resistance in your energetic body, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, etherically, to come through with more ease and grace. And so for us, for you to calibrate and integrate your multidimensional self, the ability to breathe and be in the body and let go of the fear of being in the body. So many of us on a subconscious level are operating, our fears get hit. And then we're like, I'm going to do something to navigate my world so I feel more safe, right? And for some of us, it was pulling up our energetic cord, our throuhg, our sacral up, and we're staying in the etheric realm, seeing stuff from high above, like empaths do this. I'm going to scan the room and where's the danger, right? So now many of us are moving in, I want to scan the room and where's the love, right? But also you're bringing that love into yourself. You're literally bringing your light body, your light, and anchoring it to your physical form through the divine energetics that is you. So that being said, with this focus of AI and the rate of speed at which we're moving in relationship to your light body, I'm going to pull some cards from the Archangel Metatron deck and a couple others. So I'm just going to pause this video and see which decks want to be used. Just going to pause for a moment and bear with me. All right, thank you. Here I'm back. So I come on when I'm inspired. Sometimes I'm a little more structured, but I tend to be just in the moment and allow what Spirit wants me to bring through for the highest good of all, and be a neutral party to this information that wants to come through and support you in your own guidance and trusting yourself. So trust right now is they bring in that. So it's the mark in trust is a big trust and discernment. Trust and discernment in this time. So I'm pulling from Amanda Ellis, Archangel Metatron Self Mastery deck, because this is part of self mastery. Our ability to be in our light body, to cultivate our core structure of our energetics, which is a key component to ascension, to mastering your light, to mastering the fields of your body, to discern and have a new relationship with energy, with your emotions as information, with the mental body, clear vision of the third eye, but the entire complex of the third eye structure that goes above and beyond the body and incorporates your physical body parts and skeletal structure of the head and glands and ganglionic centers and things of that nature as you're evolving. Remember, we're an entire energetic system that operates in a synergistic way and directly related and interconnected to source. So this card jumped out as evolution, birthing the new. Okay, so birthing, sorry, I want to do different things here. Birthing the new. evolution. And those of you that follow me on Instagram by the same name, Soul Inspired Reflections, I do a daily sip, a daily soul inspired perspective. And I started talking about the cosmic womb, or the womb of the mother. We were birthed into a womb. We were already working energetically and creating our physical body, cellular body, also overlays of information, right? Because we're programmable. I was also starting to talk about clear quartz as a master healer, as your body is a master healer. And we're reattuning to our mastery in our energetics to have a regeneration of energy directly connected to source and in that current. But that requires you to trust, to discern, to allow, and to remember this information that lives within you in a deep subatomic level, through the codes, through the energy, through the breath, the prana. So some of us are in another level of a womb, or birthing the new sort of state. And we're going through a collective and individual evolution, but also a universal evolution, I find. As above, so below, and we're bringing that in through the body. And you'll notice there's also the divine union. You'll notice the feminine symbols and masculine symbols here. And they're intertwined, they're interlinked and woven in through the umbilical cord, through the blood, through the waters that run through you. But all this golden light and orange light, it's enlightenment, and pink, this magenta. These are all the colors that work within us and through us, through the aurora body, the aurora light body, as you're evolving. Some of you may originally have started with the 7 sacred flames as an introduction and direct connection to the chakra system as a model, as a way in your path. I'm going to just go ahead and clear the space with a sage spray. It's a beautiful spray here, and I got to order more of it. And those of you, go ahead and ground and breathe into your space, activating your pillar of light, your merkaba field that exists in, through, and around you as you are multi-level, layered, and faceted. That's also a unification symbol that supports your ability to unify the masculine and feminine principles, to unify the codes coming within you. Also, those of you that work with the merkaba field, as I was briefly discussing, clear quartz, it's a master healer. When you learn to work with your merkaba field, you can clear, you can bring in, you can magnetize, you can unify, you can bring in memory. Clear quartz is highly programmable. It holds memory, things like that. So if you are attuned to that mastery, that healing and energy, to know that your body is programmable, right? So if I can overlay something over myself just through the sound of my voice, that's a lot of power that I yield, that you yield through the divine will of the voice. So being more mindful and purposeful in the way you use the voice, perhaps a pregnant pause, if you will, before you speak, and really listen to each other, because discerning requires deep listening. So in this place that we are currently in, as 2026 is coming, I'm sure many of you, as am I, feeling this rush of energy of AI and creativity, and just like this almost jumping on the bandwagon of, if you're not doing automated things, you're going to be left behind. I truly don't feel that's entirely true. What I feel is important for you and me, and what keeps coming through is, pause. There's a gestation period to giving birth. There's an evolution in the way we are giving birth to things. And to remember, you are divinely connected through the soul, through the energy of your heart complex. Okay? So as humanity has created AI, and I really feel things are a reflection of the level of humanity that we are in, which holds many, many different things. How might you, that may be feeling this race, this push, just a rate of speed that can be disorganizing, right? This is also occurring in your body, but how might you be in your womb place as a more divine occurrence is happening within the body, also within this world, as an old structure is dismantling or basically eating itself or trying to stay hold. Sometimes our belief systems and the way we operate through life is attempting to stay within us, right? So, but that limits you from moving forward. Okay, so how might you, in your cave, I'll say, in your womb, in your cosmic womb, however you wish to interpret your evolution, right, as above and so below, in the macro and in the micro, what areas in your own life do you feel are racing and racing and racing that maybe you just need to pause, hold it closer to you, give it nutrients, give it space, let it unify within you? As you're observing the creation happen, right? There's something beautiful about the gestational period of any creation into form, because the form, the birth of it happens whether you are ready or not. When it's time to come into form, you come. In my example, my brother and I were 11 weeks early. I have a twin brother. We weren't waiting any longer. I jokingly say I pushed him out. I jokingly say that, but I looking back and feeling in my being, it was time to enter the world. AI and new technology is coming at such an accelerated rate. You can feel that you have this rush to create, that you're going to fear of missing out perhaps. Take a pause and breathe. You're not going to miss out on anything. Be mindful if your emotions are sweeping you away or the emotions of others are knocking you off, and just breathe and come back to your center and go, what do I need to do at this time? At this time. Be aware of what's occurring, because as you know, there's many political things and structures happening as well. And we're going to see what does this have to do with our light body. But as we're going to do that, we're going to ground more and bring in the element of Archangel Sandalphon and the Earth Star chakra and your base shield. Your base shield connects you through your sacred geometry of the merkaba, and then you go deeper down and connect to the core of the earth with that same symbol that's unique to you, and you draw your divine union, your Christic self, into the body through your pillar of light. And then you have a cap shield of the same symbol that runs up and through you, creating the structure of your pillar of light. And we're going to also bring in this silver to assist. It's plasmic silver running in and through your pillar of light. These are just some pieces to you, of you, your energetics, your self mastery, to purify, clean, draw in your energetics of your system, right? Discern, right? You start to discern your energy. What texture does it have? Do I feel some sort of block or stagnation within the body? Or is there something in my field that I'm noticing, right? So, and this is an experiential process to learn to be with your energy. So let's see what for this, maybe what to do with our light body, and ask Metatron, who is the divine complement of, we're bringing in some pink energy too, divine complement of Archangel Sandalphon, and assists greatly in our ascension process, not just for humanity, but planetary and galactically, as I'm looking for something here, and but I feel it universally. The attunement spray, that's what we're doing. Because we're also attuning to our ascension. We're attuning to Archangel Metatron's energy that you are not separate of. Those of you that are bringing in, attuning to your angelic energies and frequencies, the aid of these colors, these angelic frequencies, will assist you as you integrate these things. And so what's here for our light body, and we'll see what comes out through the mastery deck. How can we support this new birth, this gestational period birthing the new, this current evolution, and stay what's for our highest good. It's as we remember to be in our core structure, balanced and harmonious, right? Because we want to bring things into harmonics, right? Because we can be balanced sometimes, but under a lot of stress. Ooh, 3 cards came out on this, and I love it. Golden Cup of Replenishment, and it has the infinity symbol. And love it, the infinity symbol. This is like the golden chalice, and it might and gold, the energy of gold, and we're going to bring in that solar plexus energy too, but also wisdom in light of our higher wisdom, right? Turning our knowledge into wisdom. But we also see the infinity symbol. And I have some other cards that I've left out that I've pulled and been working with the past few days from Diana Cooper's deck, the Golden Future. And where we see this symbol again is in our divine union of our crystalline light body here. And here we see these colors, right? So I know this is represented as 2 individuals, but I want to invite you to recognize these qualities of energies and aspects are within you. And that's the unification that's occurring, right? As above, so below, our divine, our Christic self. Your light body is going through an upgrade because you are this chalice. You are this golden cup. And let's go ahead and bring in the citrine, the golden citrine energy to assist you in your personal power and to not get lost in it or the power of others or the misuse of power, and to be aware of when you may be needing to neutralize the extreme polarity that you may be in within your power as you were reconnecting. And the power of gold too, and this is really interesting, replenishment, right? Because when we're moving in constant states of speed, you can become dehydrated, fatigued in different ways, emotionally, mentally, physically. I really feel all those are intertwined. Even spiritually fatigued, if you're just going, God, I need to do this, I need to do that. Awakening does not have to be a sprint, and nor is it. You may have moments where you're moving pretty quickly, and then other movements where you're pausing and resting and nurturing, right? Because when you're in the womb, you're nurturing. So whenever I find myself to be at a higher rate of speed, which I believe many of us are feeling and experiencing within the body on a cellular level, in the world right now, the best thing that I can remind myself to do, and you, is just pause and breathe and be like, where am I right now in my day? Where am I in my body? Because remember, my work is to assist in bringing you back to the body, to anchor your light into this physical projection that is you in physical form. That is your presence that's coming through. The integration, those of you that work with the Ankh can also recognize this infinity symbol within it. It's a current. Okay, and gold, the energy of gold is really amazing because in my work with crystal gridding and using color, gold it's pure, it's unchanged, right? It's very powerful, it's very cleansing. It could also break up debris. So any clearing that we may be doing right now, I'm going to even bring in the violet fire. We're also going to bring in the gold. And you can even bring I'm hearing the golden dragon energy. Bring in the golden dragons, your own dragons, that fire that lives within you that will get all the debris that is breaking up within you right now to be alchemized into its highest form. That's really how I've grown and become to see this process of evolution, because energy is energy. And we're going to bring in a little more golden light. And it has many different forms, many different vibrational frequencies. And how might you recognize that and be aware of it in this moment? Breathe in. as your body, your cells, your subatomic layers are changing and you're evolving at an accelerated rate. Okay, so breathing and touch, physical touch. I just talked about this briefly on my Instagram post, the power of touch and the breath. And this is how I work with clients. Fosters and gives away the ability for you to repattern your body and be present in this moment and have a deep awareness of what it allows space for the layers within you, the overlays, to bubble up to the surface. As a mentor of mine used to say, we're going to just let it bubble up to the surface to bring awareness to alchemy, to be the alchemist within your own body. And to hold this process in the frequency and vibration of love. Doesn't mean you have to like it. There can be a lot of discomfort in change, in evolution. But I'd want to invite you to also be excited in it. Joy moves us into a relaxed state, right? Because we can easily be contracted with what we're seeing in the world right now, politically, and rightfully so, I would say. And while many of us are moving to oneness and universal consciousness under the law of one, remember we're in the beginning stages of the shifting of the eon, right? The eon taking over. That takes time for that energy to absorb or alchemize the older energies or older ways, right? And the part of me also sees it as a frequency, as you vibratory, as your first, second, and third chakra system or spheres of light are becoming more harmonic. That's raising into the second octave of what's referred to as the harmony of the spheres or music of the spheres. Okay, and that goes into the sacred geometry, the Pythagoras and things like that. But we're feeling it now and we're embodying it. And the other two cards that jumped out, joy and happiness, is right? Joy, and that, look at that beautiful gold color, and the bee, a lot of gold in this reading today, because we are going through a golden gateway again and again and again. But you're at choice to step through that, right? And so then we have the Mother Earth, grounding and support, which is the purpose of me hopping on today. In what way can you be grounded and supportive within your body? And one thing I've mentioned already is breathing. Take time to breathe. And second is touch. Placing your hand over your heart is very calming, even over your lower abdominal. Even rub the belly and breathe and connect those points together. And it's not a shallow breath. It's allowing the shoulders to relax. Even just letting that audible sigh. Like you've arrived to this moment. You've arrived to this space. You've arrived in your body. And expanding that belly and extending. And it's not a forced breath. It's just a very deep and aware and expansion and contraction. Allowing the body to find its rhythm, right? Because you are finding your rhythm in this new evolution of you, in replenishing your system. We're here in the winter time in the northern hemisphere, and to me, rest, right? Because if you're going at high rates of speed and you don't have time to basically lubricate the gears, those gears get stuck, jammed up, burned out is what I'm seeing. So we're going to bring in a little bit of water to calm the fire in you, to bring it into, well, we'll have a little bit of breath, because water is held in the breath. Water is held in the body. Air moves our water. And now we have the water element. Okay. And we're balancing, we're harmonizing the elements within us through the breath, through the power of your intention, your reticular activator system within the brain centers, your cosmic self, your higher self. We'll go ahead and your etheric self, those energies of like, show me from above my I am presence, clearing the pathways to calm, presence, balance, harmony within my bodies. Bring harmony within my bodies, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. And how might you do that? And we have this beautiful earth, in this Mother Earth, who provides grounding and support for you. And we're seeing this six-sided figure, sacred geometry, a hexagonal shape, with the color of joy and happiness and the bee. And think about how bees work together too. And that looks like a carpenter bee, not a honeybee, working together. How might you work with this process? Be with this process of evolution instead of fighting against it. We see so many things where we're fighting against it. We're fighting against our own evolution, our own crystalline light body that wants to come through, right? So when you have feelings of anxiety or feelings of what's described as PTSD or post-traumatic stress, sometimes the body will shake it out. You can feel like, where am I? You can feel like you're reliving something. Your body, remember, holds memory because you're master healer. You're like the clear crystal quartz. What can you do to support staying grounded, staying in joy, in excitement, right? Because I remember through my own experience having processed an event out of my system, and it took a while, but all of a sudden when I remembered, oh my gosh, I am safe enough in my body that I can shake it out on a cellular level, where I felt my entire body shaking and trembling. So, and I felt racy. And then once I realized, oh, let me ground, let me just sit here, let me breathe. And I placed my hand over my heart, on my body, and I got excited. I brought in the joy of like, oh my gosh, thank you. I'm feeling safe enough to allow this to process out of my system. And then all I felt was love in that moment. All I felt was love. We're going to bring in the pink lotus. Was it uncomfortable? Absolutely. But was I having a clearing? Yes. And at the same time, I was having an activation of love and light. And so we're bringing in Sanat Kumara under the universal law of one and oneness. Because I believe and know and have experienced everything in my life happens for me to move me forward into this direction, into unification, into oneness with the light. And how might I be in light and service, in loving service to the light that is for all humanity, including myself. And so that brings in the angel spray of Uriel, loving service and light, loving service and light. And we're just going to bring that energy in. And it also reminds me of the ancestral colors a bit, but also fire, right? The blood, the fire. What is your motivation? What is your inspiration right now? Right? To make choices. And how might you make choices that are extremely discerning, that are purposeful, but are in the energy and frequency of love and light? That doesn't mean you don't have emotions, because anger is very powerful, very fiery. But when you channel it, I would say in a harmonious way, you move mountains with ease, with grace, with joy, with free energy that is within you as you connect and ground to the earth. Okay, and ground to the earth, because you are that pyramid here. You are that golden magnetic and electric light coming in. You are the powerhouse. You are the powerhouse bringing in the new, birthing the new. But you must keep yourself replenished in the unity energy, in the oneness energy, in your direct current in connection with God, source energy. And that requires you to have the ability to also discern when other energies are overlaid in your system. We're also reclaiming our 8 fetal cells, our origin of conception, as we came in with already with AI embedded into our energetics. So that being said, you have the power to purify your system by doing just breathing practices and grounding a little bit every day with purpose, with intention, with higher guidance from your presence and the angelic realm and higher beings of light that are under the law of one for your highest good, to assist in removing any AI from your energetics that serve your highest good at this present moment. Right? Because this is something that I'm regularly in practice with, and I encourage you to be too. That's why I walk every day. One, I love walking. I take my dog out, but it's become a meditation for me. And it assists me in clearing my field, connecting with my body, connecting with my breath, and slowing down so I can just hear my own being. And yes, thoughts come through, all sorts of thoughts, insights, ideas. It doesn't mean I have to do anything with them. I can just be observant and then just be very present each moment in the joy of life. In the joy of life, while I'm recognizing I have the power to support my crystalline body coming into my system and really bringing it in and anchoring those new codes into my base shield. Okay, your Earth Star chakra, your merkaba symbol, your cells. Okay, your cells. So take time to rest as we're going through another level of unification at a core level. So leisure and support also comes up for you, for me, for the collective. As so much is being asked of us, right? It's kind of like there's a wave of light workers and those that are ascending that some of us need to take rest and go, remember when we're in joy, when we're in active, that also is replenishing. It reminds me of a book, I think it's called The Fleet Keepers, The Light Keepers Fleet, I think is what it's called. And there's moments in there how every aspect of us and people that are on this ship, this vessel, has purpose. And rest is one of those things that is very purposeful. You recharge, you replenish at rest. Some people are more active and it recharges them. Like one of the things that I do that recharges me is I go to the ocean and I get in the water or I go on a hike. But I'm also resting in that. My body relaxes and I reset. And then I'm in the energy of the water, the energies of the sun. I calm my fire. I calm even my creativity in a place where I can focus it, right? Because if I'm just caught up racing, this post, that post, so-and-so's doing this, then nothing gets done fully. It's like all these partial ignitings of fires, right? And we can lose ourselves to it. We can be swept away in it. And and now that's reminding me also of another piece to AI that I feel many of us should be very discerning as we move forward. Because I witnessed seems to be the trend where we have automation, right? Customer service is automated. There's AI responses, AI voices, things of that nature. And I saw this within a really well-known spiritual or self-help business, and many things that can support you. on a larger scale. They just have a larger bandwidth. They have a larger reach, right? So it doesn't make them better or than someone that has a smaller reach, because they're teaching you the same skills. They're just on a larger scale. And then what I witnessed in this marketing, because we're always being marketed, it's programming, okay? That's why you got to discern your light body. Discern, is this something I need? And they created an AI version of oneself. People are creating AI versions of themselves to be in constant, like chat, even like the automated type of chat GBTs. And I'm going to go there for therapy. People are using things for therapy. And so now someone else in this self-help realm and spiritual realm creates an AI version of himself to communicate to his community. And the voice sounds the same. But what I'm encouraging you to use is your deep discernment, because with AI, and it starts to think, it's programmed, it's learning, it seems to have like almost its own consciousness of itself, but what it does not have is a soul. Okay, you have a soul. You have power. You are a powerhouse, and right? And that is partly what a lot of this, I will say, battle, for lack of a better term, because it is a battle. You are reclaiming your power, your free energy directly to source without interference. You're trusting your intuition. You're making your own choices. You're unifying your body. You're learning to replenish yourself and give yourself what you need, not what someone's telling you need. You're going into your own cave of communication and joy and your own golden light, because you're birthing the new through this action. You're birthing the new through trusting yourself on such a deep level that it's not even a mental trust of like A, B, C, and D happen. It's this deep inner knowing from the heart and through the core of your structure and being that you're like, I am trusting my intuition, your gut instinct, your higher sight. You're bringing that in to the physical body and making your choices and leading your life. This is the new leader from the heart that sees from many perspectives as you're integrating the wisdom of your multidimensionality from all lifetimes. You're bringing in all your, you're building your body, right? So the birth, right? This metaphor of being in the womb, you're reclaiming your body. You're reclaiming your body parts, your energetic parts. This goes for anyone who's had even physical surgeries, like I myself has had gallbladder surgery. Well, that gallbladder line directly connects to the aquamarine energy, your divine feminine energy. It also impacts the divine masculine energy. But the thing about when a physical movement of a organ that is so vital, the energetics are still there. So seeing a Reiki practitioner, an energy practitioner, Metatron color healing, these can assist in keeping those channels and connections open as you're evolving, right? As you're evolving. Because sometimes there's energies that try to get in your way and literally will attack the body. It's not right or wrong, it's just what happens, because other energies, people want to maintain power and control over you. And you're learning to just have power and control over yourself without the fight. With just being like, oh, thank you, I'll consider it, and you move along and go, oh no, that doesn't work for me right now. It'll show up in a totally different way. Some people are still learning that. An example for me I can give you was in work, right? So when I used to work in law enforcement, I had a manager ask me if I could do a project for her, right? Now, the old version of me that was afraid to say no, because we all learned like, oh, you say yes to your bosses and things like that. no matter what, and they keep bidding more and more on you, I gave a truthful response. I didn't necessarily say no. I said, well, if you need it done earlier, I said to her, the earliest I can get it done is by Friday because I had too much on my plate that day. Also, if you need it done earlier, you're going to have to ask someone else. So it was a yes, but on my timeline, because I was being truthful to my own workload and to my boss. And there was no emotional attachment to it, meaning I didn't have any resentment. I didn't have any like, oh my God, she's giving me another thing to do, because I was taking accountability and responsibility for what was in front of me. That's self-mastery. And someone's like, oh, you said no to your boss. I'm out. No, I didn't. I just said what was within my means. And it could also be as simple as someone inviting you to dinner and you're just like, no, I really need to stay home. That's supporting you. That's giving you that replenishment, that nurturing. This is how it shows up for you. It doesn't have to be some premonition. It doesn't have to be some, angel appearing to you. Okay, so the more you trust your intuition and building your energetics, your light frequency, because it takes a lot of energy to manifest into physical form. For a being of light that's at a higher frequency and oscillation rate, to lower down their resonance, their frequency, their rate of speed in the particles, that's a lot of energy to do that. So the more you trust and actually raise your frequency, then your ability to see and feel light beings at that rate of energy becomes easier, because now you're raising up to them versus you asking, well, show me a sign. Okay, so you're trusting, you're discerning all these things. So how does that relate to this AI piece? I would say just discernment. It's coming back to discernment. Okay, because AI is getting so advanced and more technology is getting advanced, using your discernment on what you're watching, what you're listening to. Is it real? What perspective is it hitting? And then for your own ability to be in the stillness of yourself, so you can discern what is right for you. What is right for you? What is it that you want to bring into your reality, your hologram? Because we're all bumping into each other's realities and perspectives and lens, the way we walk through the world. And not everyone's going to agree, nor do I feel we're meant to. But when you're able to expand and trust your intuition and your higher guidance in your heart, that is how you birth the new reality. And then there's others that are at a certain frequency and enough common foundation that you really support the qualities that birth a new way of living, a new way of being. And you can still do all this same thing even while working at the same job. It doesn't mean you leave your career, but some of you feel called to. Like I know I felt called to, because it just wasn't, it went against my being. I really feel like I just had this higher purpose to support others through my own experience of evolving and the grounded nature that I bring, that so many have said, you're just so grounding. So I'm not saying this from the ego. I'm just saying it because I'm owning one of the most powerful medicines that I bring to this planet and to this world to support you in developing your own state of being that is grounded. Right? To recognize, wow, I am getting an influx of something into my body. I don't know quite what it is, but something's happening, right? And those of you on a Christic path, bringing in the Christ-like codes within the body, that divine unification, having different experiences energetically, and in your relationships to this experience, it's a very powerful thing to continue to practice. So where can we wrap this up? Because it's getting a little longer than I had anticipated. So there's leisure and sport. There's joy. Recognizing you're going through a unification at a core level, right? You're even seeing like these heart centers, your light, your divine spark, and all this infinity. The divine masculine energy within you and feminine energy is beginning to become one circuit. That's ebb and flow. It's a push and pull. The magnetics is happening, right? The magnetics is happening, so things are happening faster and faster and faster. And how do you slow down and rest? Is that you go to earth, you do things outside, you be grounded in your power, allow it to integrate, and recognize slowing down is a way to replenish. Slowing down by breathing, by placing your own hands on the body, nature connection, go get a massage. That's not a luxury. I feel it's a necessity to your wellness, is touch, water, your connection to nature. And let's see if there's any final message from this particular deck that Metatron would like to give us. And because you are going through an expansion, and sometimes when we're in a gestational place about to give birth, we go to rest, right? Women can rest, you know. So just one more card, please. One more card for all of us. All right, there we go. Action. Movement needed, which is perfect because we're in this year of the fire horse. It does action, it is fire, it's movement to the body. Like I said, nature connection, hiking, swimming. Go lay on the beach if that's one of my jams. I love it. Go sit on some rocks, but it's a very active thing. So take action. Movement, fire. The horse requires movement. Fire requires movement. Air, water, earth, it all requires movements, and there's different stages of movement and action. So some of you that have been thinking about doing something, it's time to take action. And I know I've been feeling that for myself, and I feel different things physically, my own health, and then I took basically a long hiatus from my YouTube channel. And now I'm just like, no, it's time. It's time to do the work that I came here to do, came here to support you, and I love doing, and also support myself. And that is assisting you with your light body and your grounding and the foundational tools to do that while you're expanding in that, in your evolution, and to be comfortable in the way it's showing up for you, and keep your practices simple, right? Action doesn't have to be big. The smallest action will open up the biggest doors to you. The biggest doors to you. And some of that I'm hearing, like I'm looking at this teleportation and levitation card, but mainly the third eye on it, because we're also having, and during the fall, there's a big activation to our third eye complex, and higher ability to see in that entire structure, which bringing in our unification of our higher self into the body, all of our aspects. So that sometimes requires action on your part to perhaps study, to move the body, to exercise, to set yourself free and make a simple choice, a discerning choice, as you are expanding and evolving. Okay. And it's you're really letting go of your old self here, your old beliefs, the things that kept you, it's kind of like you see the other end, and some of us are still having little big boulders in our backpack, right? Like on my Instagram post a few days ago, I said, God, I let go of photographs, like albums of photographs of things that I don't know any of this stuff anymore, any of these people. I loved my life experiences, but that's not who I am right now, and it's stuff I don't need. And literally energetically and physically letting go of stuff and minimizing your life. But action, success requires action and a certain level of speed. So does birth. So does your evolution. So you're doing all these things, and it's a culmination of rest, because that's an action. Some of you don't think that it is, but rest is an action. Now, I'm not talking about procrastinating. I'm not talking about lethargy. I'm talking about, or laziness. I feel those are other things that come with some subconscious things and fear of your own success. So moving through that, like, if it's easy to do nothing and just say you failed. The failing is not taking action. The learning is taking action and going, oh, wow, that's what I did, and here's what I learned from it, and now here's how I'm going to change it and continue to create without judgment. Everything teaches and gives you something to evolve with, to expand. So really come into your higher intuition, your higher guidance, bringing in how are you relating to it through the sacral chakra, through your own personal power. Is your ego being hit a certain way? Or, you will know these answers the more you sit with them, and to be open to being truthful with yourself and that deep awareness, and recognize your higher self is coming in to free you. You are freeing yourself through the actions that you take. And sometimes the biggest action is saying no to something, because that means you're saying yes to everything else that no is attached to, and sets you free. I'm Gina. Remember to like and share this. I hope it supported you. Soul-inspired reflections. Much love to you. Stay in joy. Replenish your cup. Let that golden light within you shine. And we all walk each other home to a higher place within ourselves. I love you.